So I leave, and he just follows me straight out. And so I start walking down the hotel corridor, and from nowhere, he just, like, screams at me, Mario! I'm just like, what? So I turn around, I'm like, yo, dude, like, what's... My name isn't Mario. Like, he's like, your name probably isn't Mario, is it? I'm like, no. No, it's not. He's like, okay, so what's your actual name? I'm like, it's Gunther. He's like, Muerto Bene. I'm like, what does this even mean? I don't know what this means. Like, what does it mean? So I'm just like, okay, cool, I gotta go. So I start walking down the hallway, and he just starts walking next to me. I'm just like, is this guy gonna follow me to my car? Like, isn't he gonna eat the food I just brought him before it gets cold? So I'm just walking down. He's like, he's like, fuck this guy. I'm like, what? Who's that guy? I don't understand. Like, what's your problem, dude? So he didn't explain to me. Instead, he's like, just so you know, I'm from Providence. I'm like, oh, okay, that explains nothing. You are a half hour from Providence. Why are you staying in a hotel? I don't understand. So anyways, he follows me into the parking lot. It's just like, what was it? We closed it. It was like 8:15 at night. And he follows me into the hotel parking lot, and I just stop because I don't want to, like, lead him to my car. I'm just like, I'm like, all right, well, and he's like, this guy's like mid-30s maybe. He's like, your generation never knew what it's like to lose. I'm like, what? I'm like, what, dude? Like, what does that mean? He's like, you guys had it easy because you never had to worry about winning a World Series. I'm like, dude, like, I don't know what team you think I root for, but, like, I root for the Red Sox. Like, I don't know, like, what your deal is, but, like, I root for the Red Sox. He's like, okay, well, your generation still has it pretty good, My grandfather never got to see the Red Sox win the World Series. He's dead. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, how do you react to that, right? I'm just like, well, I'm sorry. Like, I'm like, okay, like, I had a Milwaukee Brewers hat on, which is probably why he thought my name was Mario, because there was an M on the hat. And I think he must have figured out it was Milwaukee, and that's why he commented that they never had to worry about winning or whatever. So anyways, I'm just standing there. I'm like, okay, like, I gotta go. Like, and he's like, do you smoke? I'm like, no, not my thing, really. He's like, okay. So he pulls out a cigarette and just starts smoking it. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So I start kind of walking away awkwardly, and he's just standing there smoking, watching me walk away. I turn around, I'm like, take it easy, have a good day. And he's like, he just like laughs, right? He's just like, ha ha ha, that's what they all say. I'm like, dude, what does that mean? Like, how do I react to this entire time? Like, it was such a mix of emotions. Like, how do you react to that? Like, that's what they all say? So I walk to my car, which is like 20 more feet away. I hop in, and I immediately get going. By the time I drove back past that spot, like a half a minute later, he's gone. I'm like, he didn't smoke a cigarette in a half minute. Where did he go? Like, what on earth? It was really bizarre. But, I don't know. He was from Providence, so he's Providence. That's all I can say about him. He's from Providence. He apparently must have thought he's Italian or something. Morto bene, as he kept saying. It was an experience. It's just like, I don't know. Some of the things that happen when you're on pizza delivery are really weird. I don't think I should just hand out mod to people. I don't know. I feel like that's a not good idea, even though, not specifically because I don't trust anybody, but more because, like, I don't have the authority, really, to just hand out moderator to people. I have the authority to do that in the New England Discord, but even then, it's like I don't really need any additional mods right now, so. He was saying molto bene, okay? I don't care what the Italian is. I don't speak Italian, and I don't think he did either, because he just said the one thing over and over. My coworker actually told me afterwards, he's like, oh, it was that guy? Because I told him this story, of course. I'm like, yeah, like, he's like, oh, he's pretty crazy. I delivered to him a couple nights ago. I'm like, why didn't you warn me? You never tell me about these weird deliveries until after I deal with them. And then you're like, yeah, they're weird. I'm like, why can't you give me advance warning one of these times so I know what I'm walking into? He's like, well, yeah, like, I went there, and I gave him the food. He invited me into his room. I'm like, yeah, well, that's what happened with me. And my coworker's like, and he's like, how much should I tip you? And my coworker's like, well, I don't know. Like, you don't want to ask for a certain amount of money for someone. That's weird. Like, just give whatever you think's appropriate. Don't, like, ask them how much they want. That's how are you supposed to respond to that as the person taking the money? So he's like, I don't know. So the dude takes out his wallet and slaps a $1 bill on the table. He's like, is that enough? And my coworker just didn't respond. So he keeps taking out dollar bills one by one, slapping them on the table. Is that enough? Is that enough? Is that enough? Slapping them over and over on the table. And then my coworker, he gets to $5, and my coworker's like, okay, look, that's enough. Like, stop. Like, please, just stop. So if my coworker told me that, I would have been more prepared for the molto bene guy. But what can I say? That's my story about pizza delivery. It's just how it happens. Sometimes it's like, man, I don't get paid enough for this job. But at the same time, it's also like, it's so amusing on certain occasions. It's like, okay. It's like having to deal with the stuff's a pain, but like, it can be really funny sometimes. Not gonna lie. I don't have any more pizza stories. I mean, not much else off the top of my head I can think of. There was some lady who, like, randomly told me she had a stroke. Like, I don't know what that was about. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But there was one time some customer's dog bit me. That was a good one. Classic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any other pizza stories I can remember at the moment. That was just that hotel one. It was at the Hampton Inn in Franklin, Massachusetts, which is why I don't get why a dude from Providence was there, because like it's like 30 minutes away. It's like if he was there because he couldn't be in his apartment for whatever reason, then he'd book a hotel closer. And if he was traveling, he wouldn't be in Franklin, Massachusetts, 30 minutes from Providence, Rhode Island. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. No more pizza story time for today. If anything weird happens in the future, I'll be sure to give more pizza story times. There's been plenty of weird things in the past, but like you eventually just start to forget them. You deal with some weird people delivering food. But that's part of the enjoyment about it. Like, after doing pizza delivery, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you could walk onto Boston Commons and just see some dude just, like, making out with a tree, and you'd be like, that's not too weird. Like, I do pizza delivery. Like, I've seen weirder than that. So it's one of those things. It's kind of useful for, like, a life experiences kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, you don't want to get murdered. And, like, sometimes you're just like, this is really weird. Pepperoni and pineapple is a really good combo. It's like a spin-off of Hawaiian. Pepperoni and pineapple, I highly recommend. Unless you don't like pineapple, because it's either love or hate with pineapple. In which case, don't get pineapple on your pizza if you hate it. But pineapple and pepperoni is far superior to ham and pineapple. I should probably talk about the video game, huh? Or make like sound effects at least. I could make a kaboom again whenever. Oh, well, see, the problem is I'll be making a kaboom 24/7 because there's mines and C4 and grenades. Like, there's too many kabooms for one man to handle. And Gob went off to play doubles, so I don't think I can deal with that. I should edit when I eventually get my build of PM set up again, because my Wii does not read discs properly anymore, so I got to get it with Homebrew set up. I should really replace Mario's death sound with Morto Bene. No one would understand it, but it would be really funny for me on a personal level. I'd be like, I get it. Inside joke with myself. That's just how cool I am. You can probably tell. You're probably like, that guy's cool and not a loser at all. What a cool fellow. Oh, stickies, man. The tricky sticky.